Now, the rest of the story.
Well, unfortunately, the stuff that we made down at the valley is still sitting out in the field. And I came down at the end of the day, or at least at the end of one of these days, you know. Still have hay in the ground, have issues. Oh, what do we got here? Something's been out here digging up my hay field. I'm guessing somebody was trying to find supper. That's what it really looks like. Alright, well, this stuff I thought was made right. By right, I mean, we cut it Saturday. We all know it was overripe. Let's not skate around the subject. And let it lay Sunday, Monday, Tuesday is when we made it. And we had issues with the 46. The brakes are bad, which created issues with the hydraulics, which didn't hurt anything other than the fact that it just needs new parts. So we're waiting on the 46. Took some time to get the 82 hooked onto the rake. Dad and Ryan have both on separate instances ran the 82 on that Rhino rake. I like the Rhino rake, by the way. I mean, it was actually made for a farm like this, where, you know, you got everything up here, I mean, everything down there, and then all the way over there. The Rhino rake was really meant for these bigger fields like this. Even on the 82 though, it took 3 rounds around the outside, so what, 28 feet, so 54 feet around the outside, give or take, to make it so he had enough room to really turn around comfortably with the 82. Not the rake's fault, it's largely just because it's a lunky tractor that needs half a football field to turn around. But that's why we love that tractor, because it's a heavy horsepower tillage tractor. And until I get another chore tractor around, the 82 gets called to duty, which I still like that tractor. And I like it, but I hate it. One of those things where the electronics bug me more than they really should, just because we're having more problems with it from it sitting too long. Personally, I think is just because we aren't using it enough. But a big tractor like that, I just told you why we don't use it year round. So my problem is that at the end of the day, I came down to see what this hay was doing. It was made right. It was laid down long enough. It was overripe anyway. It had some green in it. I tedded it out on Sunday. We made it Tuesday. I went through and put the hay preservative on it, and we're coming out at 19.2 as far as the moisture. And as soon as that goes away, temperature is 98 degrees. Oh my gosh, is that right? Better check it again. 98 degrees, must be wrong. We're gonna go with 36 degrees Celsius, Fahrenheit, doesn't really matter. It's just 36. And the reason why I do a secondary test on whether or not this is being honest is my buddy, what he uses is the low techie form of the hay checker. He just has a copper rod where he sticks in, just like I did, and he feels the end. And I can tell you right now that is significantly warmer than here on the end. So yeah, it's heating, 98 degrees. I still want to get the stuff put inside. Oh my gosh, that's really hot, isn't it? Yeah, it is. Am I going to worry about it? A little bit. Am I going to check it a lot? Absolutely. The convenience part is that the stuff isn't stored 6 miles from home. It's actually stored at pretty much the bottom of my driveway. So yes, I'm going to stack it inside. Yes, I'm going to check it every night for the next 2 weeks. That's approximately how long it takes for these things to sweat out. And anything under 120 degrees is actually your kind of your grace period, or your room of margin of error. I can't think of the proper term. I guess it really doesn't matter. But you get north of 120 degrees is when you really start to get into that willingness to combust zone. Plus, on top of the fact, if it doesn't spontaneously combust, the hay quality on the inside, that's when you start getting caramelized material. And the baler had some issues. That's why I'm still got hay on the ground. We'll probably cover that in another video. Nothing major, but enough that it irritated me, but luckily weather is on my side. So you know what, we're right here. Let's check this guy. This guy that I just checked, hey buddy, Calvin, is actually warmer than the first bale that I checked on the upper end of the field. And you're supposed to do this like, you know, do like 1, 2, 3, 4, average it. My time's too valuable. Sticking it at an angle, you don't put it right in the center because, you know, you got your core, which core is a core. I'm really anxious to see what this stuff weighs. Letting this sit a little bit to either heat up or cool down or do whatever it's going to do. I'm planning on, a dreaded P word, is we're actually probably going to be using the truck, the flatbed, a tractor, and that bale wagon of mine. So we'll be pulling out 18 bales at a crack. There's only 60 some bales down here, so we'll be able to do that fairly quick. Plus we have 1, 2, 3, 4 other fields that we have to pick up at bales at, so I'm spread out, and all the fields that are spread out is where I currently have to bale. And hopefully we got the hydraulic issue figured out. See, we're at 20%. Yikes, that's definitely a lot. I'll say a lot, but it's wetter than I'd like it to be. And 94 degrees, so that was actually what, wetter? What was the other stuff, 18? So we're at 20 some percent and 94 degrees. I believe it. I just don't feel like stressing about it. It's not that I don't care, it's just that what am I supposed to do about it at this point? I mean, I could have let it lay, but you know, they're threatening us with rain, and this stuff, I could let it sit out like this. I mean, let it breathe and it actually will be just fine. Problem is I don't want it getting a whole lot of rain on it. It's got 4 reps of net wrap on it, so it's wrapped tight enough that it should be able to shed moisture. We've been avoiding the 1 to 2 to 3 plus inches of rain at a time storms. If we get anything less than an inch, I think we'll be fine. It's that prolonged, drawn out, several inches at a time is what really kind of ruins these bales. And I do believe like the outside 6 inches, I was mentioning that in a previous video, that really adds up when you start talking about how much weight. I mean, you take the outside 6 inches of the bale all the way around it, and that starts to add up to a lot of material. I mean, it's a long way around there, and I just can't remember the exact amount anymore as far as if it was, oh, I don't know, a third, a half. I think a half is too much of the overall weight of the bale, but I believe a third. So at 60 inches versus the 54-inch bales I made last year, I myself am looking north of 1,300 plus pounds per bale. I honestly want to believe that they're at least north of 1,300. Honestly, I'd prefer if they were between 14 and 15. That's kind of the area I was wanting to be in. North of 14, not quite 15. But the grass, I'll talk about the regrowth real quick. Am I going to be doing nitrogen? Almost certainly. They're calling for rain the end of next week, so if we get the 46 back, we should get the 46 back, I'll get some liquid 32, and I'll come down with 25 gallons the acre of liquid 32 across this 40 or so acres. If the 46 doesn't come back, I'll do dry urea, but I'd rather not. And we can see it's worse. I mean, the cracks that you hear me talk about on this farm are typically down there and on the end of that finger over there. But here is some grasshoppers. Probably gonna have to spray for them too, but that'll be another week or two after I put fertilizer down. Again, all the regrowth that's coming in, whether or not it's the grass that I want to grow in here, but I guess we're gonna find out, because you guys, we keep getting updates, and I have yet to look at the corn. The corn does look pretty nice. The problem this stuff has, and all soil does it, don't get me wrong, but you get these cracks, and not even from, this is definitely from the seed drill, don't get me wrong, but there's actually cracks down there where I could stick my hand in clear up to the palm of my hand and fits comfortably down in some of these cracks. So I think we're getting basically spoon-fed moisture myself. The bottom, piece was never an option. It's still growing good. It's got the moisture. It's been sprayed for bugs. It's been given Radiate, which is a foliar product that has been known to give another 6 to 8 inches of plant growth. So I guess a lot of farmers spray it on their hay and their forages. So hopefully that pays out. Not really looking to having to do 2 more passes on this field, because I'll be doing the fertilizer, and then when I do come back through, it'll be probably for bugs. We'll see what kind of bug pressure we have. The weeds I don't think are super bad, but they really do bug me. And there's plenty of moisture down in the valley, or down in the bottom, that even on a drought year, it's still gonna pay. On a wet year, it won't, because if you guys remember last year, it was mid-July before it actually dried out enough where I could even get out through my driveway down there. So that whole fence needs to come out. But on a dry year, 2 big healthy cuttings should be great. We made it in June like we did, and let it grow till September with everything I've put on it. It probably isn't going to yield as good as it did for first crop, but the landlords who've been here pretty much their whole lives insist that it's going to really try to grow just as tall as it did for first cut. So I'm kind of excited to see that. I mean, I'd sure like to. But I gotta go. I figure you guys wouldn't mind seeing what this hay is doing. Hopefully get it hauled in here in 2 days. I get done baling tomorrow, and then I'm done with hay for a little while. Got a little bit for Dad and Ryan. I mean, like 15-20 acres of third cut, and then fourth cut alfalfa and second cut grass for me. Basically everything that we've been doing the last 2 months we'll be cutting for the last time in September, be it first cut, or well, there is no first cut, but be it second or fourth. So I'm just really glad how this stuff turned out. I already know how much my bale wagon weighs, so I get a load of 8 bales on here to get a healthy average across the field, and I'll at least get an idea about what these things are weighing at 60 inches. No rain on it, so I don't know, think positive thoughts. Until next time, take care, take it easy, keep in touch, stick around for more videos later on here.